stay there? Or you want me to
No, I'd rather go back. Thanks.
go back? Here?
That's fine.
Here?
I'll sit next to her.
So we're going to start this evening with a new melody that's going to come back for Lechato D later. So this is just to introduce you to a new melody that I brought us that I just am so excited for us to sing. So I hope you'll like it as much as I do. Shabbat Shalom. And I want to extend a special welcome to the confirmation students and their mentors who are here from 3 different congregational churches this evening, from Haddam and Hingham and Chester. It's really wonderful to have you all here. And my colleague, Reverend Doug Clark, welcome. Really great to have you. And I have to apologize. I realized I gave everyone instructions on the page numbers, then I used the wrong page number for Roman numeral. If you have a skinny book, it is true, except for that exception. But I promise, be saying the page numbers in the brackets. I made a mistake when I was preparing. So, as we gather to celebrate Shabbat, especially with many unfamiliar faces in the room, we should definitely turn to each other and wish each other Shabbat Shalom, introduce yourselves to each other, maybe meet someone new. And as we orient ourselves to our community and to each other and to the prayer book, also just for those of you who maybe walked in late, we're going to be singing at least one, maybe two new melodies tonight. Two new melodies today. So if you're feeling a little lost, it's okay. We'll bring them back again and again if we feel like we get a good response from them. So we're going to welcome in Shabbat now with our candle lighting, which you can find on page 120. And I'd like to invite up the Archibos, who, along with the Jostles, who I think are joining us later, are marking Liz and John's dad's yard site this week. So Shabbat is our sanctuary in time, and we've stepped into this physical space, but now it's time to really arrive in this time of peace, this time where we stop, we release ourselves from work, we release ourselves from our to-do lists. So we'll take a few moments of silent meditation, and I invite you to kind of release yourself. And one of the ways we do that is by unfolding our arms and uncrossing our legs and finding like a comfortable, relaxed, yet alert position. I think that's really conducive to feeling like we're arriving in this body, in this moment, in this space. And just take a few moments to notice your breath and to relax into Shabbat. As we open to Shabbat, we open to the presence of the Shabbat bride and to the presence of a new melody. Page 138.
Yeah.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings about the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamad You may be seated. Page 154. Please join me responsively on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again you are working and press us towards us.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world in change.
Let us continue to work with the dead, and the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Please join me on page 160 in our prayer for shelter. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardians, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and
over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world. scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We rise for Tefillah, page 164. You'll chant the first 3 lessons together, and then you're invited to continue silently on your own through page 180 and be seated when your prayers are finished. Tefillah always is sealed with a prayer for peace. And in a moment, we'll be joining together on page 178 and singing Shalom Rav, asking for great, abundant peace to be granted to our people and to the world. And the whole world needs it, but especially here in our Jewish community, our hearts are really turned towards the east, towards Israel, where, thank God, it seems that this recent wave of terror is subsiding, but we still carry, especially in our hearts, a prayer for peace in that place. So we pray together. We also pray for a more intimate kind of peace, healing, wholeness of body, mind, and spirit for so many people in our community, people we love. And in a moment, Cantor Belinda will reintroduce a newer melody and words for a healing prayer. I'll just say the names of the folks that we're thinking of. So we are especially thinking about George Palmer, Wendy Bass-Robb, Beth Gottlieb, Miriam Swidler, Iris Klar, Saul Meller, Kenneth Schneider, David Clark, Stuart Walker, Sam Rosenblum, Charles Savitt, Terry Baran, Carol Berzin, Nancy Schwam, John DiNicola, Peggy Tunick, Harvey Redak, and Reagan Konecki. And if there are folks that you're thinking of in particular who need healing, you can say their names out loud or inwardly as my eyes scan the room.
The Altman family.
Ed and Elaine Pearlstein. Betsy Covell.
Joe Maria.
Susan Hellman, Bob Zucker.
also add a prayer of thanks for good things in our lives, big and small. So take a moment just to bring something good in your life to mind, and then if you'd like to share it, you'll be able to share some of what's in this room tonight. Any good things?
I had a very nice brisket dinner party this past weekend, which is the first in a long time.
Brisket dinner party.
And instead of my friends bringing house gifts, I said, please bring food for the shelter. There's a lot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Brisket and a mitzvah. Everyone should do those. let's make it started up with brisket dinners and food for the pantry. Wonderful. Alex.
My birthday is on Sunday.
Your birthday's on Sunday. And can you tell us how old you're going to be?
13.
13. Very important number. So, mazel tov. Mazel tov. Other good things?
Well, I made vegetable soup to give to someone who was sick. It's not as good as a brisket.
Well, that's great.
It's a good mitzvah.
It is. Do you want to
I was just going to say, it's been so beautiful out, and it should be that way until at least Thanksgiving.
Definitely. Maybe if we give enough thanks now, it will last. Okay, so the blessing that we say for good things, those that we've shared, those that we keep to ourselves, it begins the way most Hebrew blessings do, and it ends with the words Hatov v'hameti. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hatov v'hameti. Praised are you, Adonai our God, your presence fills creation. You are good, and you make good things happen. A few announcements. On Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, we're screening the film The Sturgeon Queens, which I assume is about making smoked fish. I don't know much more about it. Jewish food. So 4 o'clock here. On Monday evening, we have a closing reception for this beautiful sculpture exhibit that's been in Main Street for a while now, Richard Newton. It goes from 5 to 8 on Monday, and I heard that there's going to be a dance piece, a performance piece that's part of that reception. So I'm excited about that. That's my kind of thing. So folks should come. I don't know when the dance part is happening. I know that the reception is from 5 to 8. So, please mark your calendars for Saturday, November 14th, the second Saturday in November, where we have our monthly Shabbat morning service at 10:30. We'll also be presenting our new annual Pursuers of Justice and Peace Award, and we're presenting it to Martha Stone, a member of our congregation and a really amazing advocate for justice in this state and beyond. So we'll be presenting that to her, but I'm going to be having sort of a public conversation dialogue with her during that service so that we can learn more about what motivates her to do her good work. And that will be followed by a Kiddush luncheon. So Saturday the 14th at 10:30. And we have an urgent need for warm jackets and winter coats, a coat drive that will be donated to a Hartford area school. Coats are for kids in pre-K through 5th grade. So gently used or new warm jackets and winter coats can be placed in the bin at the entrance of our Kivun wing, our religious school wing. And I'm going to be starting up a 6-week Jewish parenting class, Parenting Through a Jewish Lens, based on the book The Blessing of the Skinned Knee. It begins November 22nd. It'll be going on for 6 Sunday mornings. So if you are interested or someone you know might be interested, you need to sign up in advance, and we're actually handing out the book. So that starts up November 22nd. And again, I want to thank Liz and Ray Archambault, it's like Liz hopped it off, for providing our own egg, our sweets for later. So in honor of the yard site, and I assume Halloween as well.
well, maybe. I don't know.
It's a Halloween theme. So those of you who are here tonight who were at Torah study at Holy Scrollers last week, you have to forgive me because I can't get the image out of my head of the tightrope that I kept referring to last week during class. Jim and I saw this film last week, a fictionalized account of Philippe Petit's walk on the tightrope between the Twin Towers. The film is called The Walk. It's fictional. There was, many years ago, a documentary made about the same walk. And this tightrope has really been present for me this week, as you'll see. It's really been quite a week in this congregation. I'm hoping that I'm not going to shock folks by revealing this for the first time. I hope most of us know at this point in the congregation, our guests may not. But the last Friday, the son of our beloved congregants, David Tillis, grandson of Saul Tillis, David's son, Sam, took his life last Friday. He was a young adult. He was a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. And he was a husband and a father to 2 daughters. And I know that this has really been on a lot of our minds all week long, and it will be, I think, a good experience for us to be able to support him in person at Shiva on Thursday night. There are really no words that can capture the impact of such a loss. That's just one thing that happened this week. And then, on Wednesday morning, we celebrated a bris. We brought the 8-day-old son of Jackie and Lou McCown into the covenant between God and the people of Israel. Death and birth. The abrupt devastation and sadness of suicide. The fresh hopefulness of a new baby. And this week also, just in my experience as a rabbi, I spent some time with someone who in the past year survived a life-threatening health event. It's hard to find a better word than miracle to describe the experience this person had of escaping a completely unexpected death. The Torah portion this week mirrors these stories in the way that the Torah so often does. After years and years of barrenness, of dead ends, of hopes shattered, our ancestors Abraham and Sarah finally give birth to a son, to Isaac. And he has a bris. And then only a chapter later, God tells Abraham to take this precious child and offer him up as a sacrifice. And Abraham goes, no questions asked. He saddles his donkey, gathers the wood and the knife, takes his son, and walks for 3 days in complete silence until they reach the mountain. They climb the mountain. Abraham binds up his son, and just as he is reaching for the knife, God sends an angel to stop him. All in this Torah portion. Fresh, new, miraculous life enters the world, and then immediately the truth of the possibility of death, of loss. The terrible, terrible uncertainty of existence from one moment to the next. This week, I came across a commentary on this Torah portion, and I read a lot of commentary on this Torah portion because you read it on Rosh Hashanah, and I'm supposed to give a really big, meaningful sermon about it every year, and I can never find commentaries that I agree with. I finally found one this week that I resonate with, that I don't rail against. A contemporary of mine, Rabbi James Jacobson Meisels, is a rabbi who currently lives and teaches in Jerusalem, and I subscribe to a weekly text study that he prepares, and he bases his teaching that he shares on a Hasidic teacher named Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Vitebsk. And in his commentary this week, Meisels asserts, as I often have, it's very validating, that this story is not about the literal mere sacrifice of a child, that there is no intent on God's part that Abraham would kill his own son. Rather, this is a test of whether Abraham can make a different kind of sacrifice. The kind of sacrifice that is needed to live a life of faith. When God calls, Abraham responds, "Here I am," and he just goes. Not because he is blindly following God. He is not blind at all. The Torah portion is called Vayera, which is all about seeing. He is not blind. In this story, God shows Abraham what is present for all of us human beings at every moment, but which our natural defenses do not allow us to always perceive, that we are all on the edge of a very deep abyss. Life is a walk through uncertainty every moment. God shows Abraham that abyss. And Abraham strings a tightrope across it, and he walks. He takes Isaac's hand, and he walks. Faith requires that we look the truth of our mortality square in the face, and that we then sacrifice our sense of control, certainty, confidence, and capability. Because the truth is, we are not in control. We cannot fix everything, and life is terribly uncertain. This is the hardest thing about living. Seeing this uncertainty, feeling it deep in our bones as we wobble on that tightrope, and continuing to put one foot in front of the other. Most of us do not live in constant extreme awareness of this. The reality of our vulnerability reveals itself at certain moments. The son of a dear friend commits suicide. We hold a tiny, soft baby in our arms. We or a loved one has a close call, a near miss. Most of the time, this abyss is present for us, but in a much more unconscious way. And our response to it is an undercurrent of worry, anxiety, overthinking. We try to establish as much control as possible, over every little thing and over the big things. We believe that we are capable of fixing anything that comes along. We grasp for certainty, and when we think we've found it, we hang on for dear life. When the reality of that abyss gets really close to the surface, we freak out. In this story, Abraham comes as a model for us that we could take a different path, a path of practicing faith. He practices faith on that 3-day walk to the mountain. instead of doing what many of us wish he would do, bargain with God, question God, run in the other direction, Abraham walks forward into the uncertainty, step after step. He doesn't freak out. He doesn't get lost in what-if conversations with himself. Instead, with each step, he chooses to surrender to the uncertainty. With each step, he chooses to live in the reality that he cannot control what will happen to himself or his son from moment to moment. In the words of Mizell's, Abraham walks through the uncertainty to a place of holding the uncertainty in the expansiveness of faith. Vayera, seeing. This is what it means to live as a mortal human being. We are on a tightrope from the moment that we are born. And if we are blessed to have children, they join us there on that same tightrope. And we can't catch them if they fall. And we can't catch ourselves. And it's really, really hard. But if we can keep walking forward, and if we can hold each other's hands, we can feel the rope there under our feet. And we can enjoy the view. And we can breathe. And we can love. And we can live. Alleluia, page 586. Please rise.
Vana
river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. Before we recite Kaddish, just a word that for why we're not going to be saying Sam Tillis's name for Kaddish, because the funeral is not taking place until Monday. And we shouldn't be saying Kaddish for him until David has a chance to lay him to rest and to say Kaddish at that moment. So we clearly hold that whole family in our hearts tonight. And we also encircle all of those who are remembering someone for Yahrzeit. And this week we mark the Yahrzeits of Leo Amarant, Sylvia Beckerman, Celia Benson, Philip Berwick, Aaron Diamond, Samuel Elkin, Annette Barber Rexschaffer, Nathan Fink, Hyman Fink, Bertram Friedman, Edward Glazer, Jane White Gwillem, David Joslo, Jacob Lake, Maria Lopez, David Miller, Marvin Radon, Sarah Schulman, Francis Seidman, Herbert Small, Louis Steinberg, Irving Strom, Milton Weintraub, Harry Zack, George Glassman, and Norma Glassman. And if there are others whose names you'd like to say for Kaddish, folks that you're especially remembering tonight, you can say those names at this time.
Al Holman,
Mourners and those who wish to join them, please rise. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitchadash b'nei Rabba, ve'alma tivrach v'yuteh v'yamlid malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael, v'adala v'zman karim v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Rabba v'vorach v'olam lo ne'amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shnei v'yushan v'rifu, le'ela v'yinkol birchatam v'shiratam, tushrachatam v'nechamatam, za'amiran v'amam v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shalama Rabba v'yishemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Sed shalom v'yimra, Luya sed shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may we bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. We'll all stand and shift our attention to yet another prayer for peace. Lo Yisadoy, you can find the words on page 645. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us for Kiddush in the social hall.
This is the best part of service now is we're having this in effect. I hope people know it.
Hopefully you're having an
Trying to read along, you know, where the